Hello again, you're tuning in to VNA News Daily Bulletin. I'm Bảo Trung from Hanoi, and as usual, coming up next are our top stories. Legislators comment on performance by the President, Government, Prime Minister, and Chiefs of Judicial Agencies. Scientists discuss measures to prevent droughts and promote sustainable development of key industrial crops. Da Nang Museum introduces culture and tradition of Cơ Tu ethnic minority group. Legislators have appreciated efforts by the President, Government, Prime Minister and Chiefs of Judicial Agencies, while straightforwardly commenting on their performance since 2011.
National Assembly deputies continued the 11th meeting of the 13th Parliament on March 29th, with focus on the reports about the performance of the President, Government, Prime Minister and Prosecutor General. Regarding working report of President Trương Tấn Sang, who is also the head of the Steering Committee for Judicial Reforms, they considered judicial reforms as one of his outstanding successes in the 2011-2016 tenure. They said his strong promotion of the reforms has helped foster judicial pureness, strength, democracy and firmness.
Trong hoạt động của Chủ tịch nước trong nhiệm kỳ vừa qua thì nhìn tổng thể.
The state leader has enhanced lawmaking renovation. Additionally, external activities conducted by the President and Vice President have helped raise Vietnam's stature in the international arena. However, the President did not fully perform the legal power of commanding the armed forces or the position of the Chairman of the Council for National Defense and Security. He also did not carry out the right to reconsider laws and ordinances in case flaws are detected.
In terms of the government's and Prime Minister Nguyễn Tấn Dũng performance, legislators said their prominent attainments were stabilizing the macroeconomy, curbing inflation, sustaining economic growth, ensuring social welfare, and the signing of many free trade agreements amidst global and domestic difficulties. However, an area of matters still linger, deputies said, pointing out serious corruption along with rampant law violations. Deputies also spoke highly of the efforts by the Chief Justice of the Supreme People's Court and the Prosecutor General of the Supreme People's Procuracy in thoroughly resolving cases with incorrect or inaccurate verdicts. They asked the judicial agencies to clarify the responsibility of the parties involved and strengthen their resolve in settling those cases.
President Trương Tấn Sang asked Russia's Primorye authorities to enlarge its market and connect with neighboring regions so that Vietnamese products can get access to the Far East. He made the request during a reception for Governor of Primorye Territory, Vladimir Makovsky, on March 29th.
President Sang said Vietnam and Primorye Territory have enjoyed sound relations in recent years, with increasing numbers of Vietnamese students and enterprises coming to the locality to study or seek business opportunities. He said that Primorye leaders should provide preferential investment policies to Vietnamese ministries and localities, while ironing out challenges in obtaining visas, establishing direct flight links, as well as labor usage. He also said Vietnam will create optimal conditions to enhance collaboration between the two sides' businesses. Governor Vladimir Makovsky underlined advantages in his locality's external economic policies, which encourage infrastructure construction to lure foreign investment. He said, being a leading economy in Russia's Far East, Primorye has great potential in seafood processing and the wood industry. He expressed his hope that the two sides will work together in fields of mutual strength.
The same day, President Trương Tấn Sang met with Bodi Slimane, head of the Algerian Supreme Court. The Vietnamese leader said since the two countries established their ties in 1962, Vietnam and Algeria relations have been expanded in various areas, especially in the legislature and the judiciary. He also said the Vietnamese people always keep in mind the assistance Algeria has given to them during their struggle for national independence and construction. Bodhi Sliman expressed his pleasure at the bilateral cooperation in the judicial sector. He said during the 2015 to 2016 period, the two sides reached various deals on working together and sharing experiences in judicial cooperation. He said Algeria is conducting judicial reforms and it wishes to boost the exchange of experiences with Vietnam to address its shortcomings in the area. We have more news coming up next. Stay tuned.
Activities from the third Vietnam-China Border Defense Friendship Exchange continued on March 29th in the northern border province of Laos. At the event, Vietnamese Defense Minister General Phùng Quang Thanh and his Chinese counterpart, Senior Lieutenant General Chang Wan-Chuan, visited Chi Ba border gate, where they attended a ceremony saluting border marker 1223 and witnessed the two border guards joint patrol. Afterwards, the two delegations attended the inauguration ceremony of the Vietnam-China Border Friendship Culture House, where exchanges between residents from Vietnam's Chi Ma village and China's Ai Dien town, Ninh Bình district, will take place. As part of the exchange, the two ministries' delegations watched martial arts performances by Laos Province border guards at the Dong Kinh Stadium. This is also the event's final activity in Vietnam. On March 30th, the Vietnamese delegation will visit China, continuing the third Vietnam-China Border Defense Friendship Exchange.
Vietnam's healthcare network has been placed on high alert because of the high risk of Zika virus outbreaks in the country.
Experts said 61 countries and territories have reported cases of the Zika virus. The World Health Organization classified Zika virus as a global emergency, with increasing scientific evidence indicating the virus causes microcephaly in infants and Guillain-Barré syndrome. On March 22nd, the Vietnamese Ministry of Health was informed about an Australian visitor testing positive for the mosquito-borne virus after returning from the Southeast Asian nation. The ministry's Emergency Operations Center now believes that there is a very high risk of Zika outbreaks in Vietnam. So the Ministry of Health ordered its subordinate agencies and medical establishments to enhance Zika virus testing, publicize a list of facilities capable of testing for the Zika virus, and provide intensive training for health workers. Communication must also be stepped up by the health sector and media outlets to update the public, especially pregnant women and those preparing for pregnancy, on preventive measures.
Scientists, managers and officials gathered in Dak Lak province on March 29th to discuss measures to prevent droughts and promote sustainable development of key industrial crops in the southeast and central highlands regions. Participants shared experience in preventing drought and saving water in agricultural production. They recommended ways to develop sustainable coffee and peppercorn production in the regions. Climate change is seriously affecting regional residents' daily activities and is taking a toll on agricultural production. The region's key crops of coffee, cashew nuts, and peppercorns are facing an increasing risk of water shortage. Experts say El Nino will continue to last until the middle of 2016, marking it as the longest El Nino spell recorded in Vietnam. In 2016, as many as 7,108 hectares of rice in the region had to be abandoned, while 40,137 hectares of coffee and 2,290 hectares of peppercorns have been damaged or have reduced output due to a shortage of water. If rain does not come in early April, the area of key crops hit by drought will expand to 167,000 hectares. The Mekong Delta region has been hit a double blow of prolonged drought and salt intrusion due to the impacts of El Nino, as well as low water supplies from underground and the upper river. According to a report released by Cần Thơ University in March, there are 11 irrigational reservoirs along the Mekong River. Another 77 projects are under construction through 2030. As the lowest area along the river, Vietnam's Mekong Delta has suffered the worst damage. The region has seen the water level in Mekong River continuously decrease during several recent years. The level fell by 3 meters from the year 2000 to 2015. The underground water source in the region has also dropped at an annual rate of 40 centimeters. The Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development reported that by mid-March, more than 200,000 households have suffered from serious water shortages. The figures are expected to rise in the coming months. Schools, hospitals, and production establishments have also been affected. Seawater intrusion has hit all 13 provinces and cities in the Mekong Delta, including Cần Thơ, which has never seen such effects before. The northern province of Sơn La hosted a conference from March 27 to 29 to review the cooperation with its Lao counterparts in the fight against cross-border drug smuggling over the past 7 years. Reports delivered at the conference showed that police of Sơn La province have actively expanded cooperation with their counterparts in northern provinces of Laos to fight drug trafficking across the shared border, capturing many major drug rings. They also effectively launched movements to encourage local residents to join the fight against drug trafficking in combination with implementing their socio-economic development tasks. During the reviewed period, police forces of the two countries investigated 631 cases, captured 836 suspects, and seized 194 kilograms of heroin, 161,868 narcotic pills, and over 43 kilograms of opium. Meanwhile, authorities of border communes investigated over 1,260 cases, confiscated more than 157 kilograms of heroin, 286,000 narcotic pills, and 29 kilograms of opium. On this occasion, provincial authorities from Hủa Phăn and Luang Prabang provinces and the Ministry of Public Security of Laos presented certificates of merit to 62 units and individuals for their contributions to the joint fight against cross-border drug trafficking. Vietnam exported an estimated 1.59 million tons of rice, earning $692 million in the first quarter of this year.
According to the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, the figures represent increases of 41.6% in volume and 40.8% in value compared to the same period last year. In March alone, the country shipped 629,000 tons of rice worth $274 million. Indonesia became the biggest importer of rice from Vietnam in the first 3 months of 2016, accounting for 31.42% of the market share, followed by China with 17.15%. Amidst serious impacts of drought and saltwater intrusion in the Mekong Delta, prices of the winter-spring paddy tend to go up as